Hello everyone, and welcome to Painting a Red Stocking that you can personalize at the end with metallic paint or metallic markers. Once you have your design on your watercolor paper, we will begin by painting in the white of the stocking. And I start by wetting the white fur and then dropping in some Holbein black in a very light value. It does seem weird to paint something that is white with black paint, but it will work out. The lighter value really just turns it to gray and mimics the gray shadows that we see in the white fur. I'm adding a little bit of salt, thinking that it will make the pigment separate, but I didn't wait long enough and it didn't really work. I'm adding a little bit of Horizon Blue by Holbein to the hook, and then also into the wet gray of the fur. Now I'm adding a little bit of P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. You can use any white gouache, or you can just put in some clear water to make the pigments separate out and create cauliflowers. Now the white area is dry and I'm wetting the entire stocking with clear water. I'm going to get some of that permanent yellow and water it down and do the first layer of the stocking in yellow. Now that it's dry, I'm going to add some of the vermilion hue and water it down and then put it over the yellow. You don't want it really dark yet because you want that yellow to shine through. So watered down vermilion hue. And then with my damp brush, I'm going to lift out that big highlight that goes diagonally down the stocking. Now I'm adding some of the Crimson Lake into the puddle of yellow and orange. And I am once again going to paint over the entire stocking, but this time I'm going to try and preserve the highlight. But then at the end, I go ahead and lift it out like I did the first time. And you can tell that we can still see the yellow layer and the orange layer through this red layer. Now I'll mix in a deeper color with the Crimson Lake, and now I'm going to go over the stocking again. And once again, avoiding the highlight, but also at the end, softening it with a damp brush. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Every subscription and every like really counts. And share with your friends who also like to paint. Here I am painting in the two bells with a mixture of horizon blue and a little bit of the black. And I'm going to let those dry before I come back to them. Now I need a very deep dark red so that I can start working on the wrinkles in the stocking that are shadows. So I'm using the Crimson Lake and I'm adding a little bit of Viridian Hue, which is a dark green, and it's making sort of a Cabernet purpley color. And I'm going to use that all over the stocking where I see wrinkles in the reference photo. I'm working wet on dry, but I am softening the lines with a damp brush. Here I wet the rest of the stocking with clear water, and wet I am adding in the crimson color. Here I'm trying to get a very deep value up next to the cuff and sort of going into the highlight without obscuring the highlight. So I'm using a lot of water and then adding pigment to the water so that it will be soft, and then using a damp brush to pick some of it up. Here I'm working on the bells again, and I'm putting in the dark value of the horizon blue and black mixture to show the openings in the bells. Here I am wetting the stocking again with clear water. So I can work on the smaller little wrinkles in the stocking with a smaller brush, using the dark color that I mixed with Crimson Lake and Viridian. Here I'm getting ready to go over the whole thing with a glaze of yellow. Just a very, very pale light value of yellow to brighten it up a little. And you can tell that that really is starting to bring this whole stocking to life. And then I decided to add a little bit of the vermilion hue to that yellow to deepen it a little bit. And I smushed in some of the Crimson Lake and Viridian sort of all around so that it would look like crushed fabric. I'm just not getting the darkness that I need, so I'm just going to continue on with layers and get it as dark as I want it to be. Really looking at that reference photo and trying to match the values. I have to admit it's looking really weird and I have my doubts. I go through this every time I do a painting and worry that I won't be able to pull it off. So keep going. It's time to scrub. I'm going to use my size small Rosemary & Co. Eradicator brush, but I think a 1/4 inch synthetic flat brush will do fine too. It's pretty easy to get the pigment off of this. And what I am doing with this Eradicator brush is dipping it in clean water and not wiping it off and getting a lot of water on the spot where I want to lift. Otherwise, I would scratch the paper. So you dip it, you scrub a little, and then you dab it with a paper towel. I'm mixing a little bit of a warm red using yellow and crimson. And I'm going to go over the highlight because I don't want it to be white. I want it to be a warm red color. Stocking still looks kind of funky. Don't worry, keep going. I want to write the word Noel up on the furry part of the stocking, and I'm trying out 3 different pens that I already have. One is a Pentel Gold gel pen, and the other 2 are Sharpies, one in copper and one in gold. And I ended up liking the gold one the best. And this is where you can personalize the stocking for your own family member or for yourself. You can write any name in here. You can use metallic paints if you don't have any metallic markers. A little bit more scrubbing to clean up the edges and get things just right. Time to start working on the shadow. So I am wetting the edge of the stocking with clear water. And I'm getting a very light value with the gray and a little bit of the crimson. This will be a 3-layer shadow. So I'm going to make this section of it the lightest and the thickest. Here I have a damp brush and I'm softening the edge, and I'm going to be drawing out that color out to the edge. And this is where the fun part comes in with rough paper, because I didn't mean to do this. This was a happy accident, but I got a rigid, sort of a, not a rigid edge, a wrinkled edge, and it looks like the shadows of the fur. Now it's dry, and I am going to do a second layer, adding a little Viridian in to the petal. I'm also going to soften this with water. We're going to let this shadow dry and we'll come back to it for the last part of the shadow. I'm mixing up another red and go right over that highlight and bam! I think this looks a lot better and the stocking has worked itself out and it looks great. Here I'm just adding a little bit of a shadow to the letters on the right side with a little bit of gray. I'm putting a little bit of warmth on the bells so that they look like they're reflecting some light. Just choosing a color that's already mixed out on the palette. And I'm realizing as I make this video that I forgot to do the shadow on the bells. So if you like, go ahead and add a shadow now. Last part of the shadow on the stocking is the darkest, and it's snug right up against the stocking. I don't remember what I mixed in with that color, but it's okay just to use the dark value of the crimson mixed with a little viridian. I hope you liked this painting. See you next time. Thanks for watching.